It's the Cozy Rainbow Podcast time.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Cozy Rainbow Podcast. My name is Tammy, but my students know me as Miss Tammy.
My name is Joe. Take it or leave it.
And on today's episode of the Cozy Rainbow Podcast, we are going to be answering the question, are seeds zombies? We're going to be talking all about seeds and kind of how they grow into plants. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these trivia questions. As a reminder, I'm not going to be giving the answers to these trivia questions until the end of the episode. So if you're not sure about your answer, you're going to have to listen very carefully. So, number 1, when a plant germinates, what is the first root to grow out of the seed called? Is it A, seedling, B, photosynthesis, C, ideal condition, or D, taproot?
D, the taproot. What was that?
Number 2, what ideal conditions does a seed need to grow? A, water, sunlight, B, soil, water, C, soil, water, and sunlight, or D, water?
You know what? Now that I actually consider it, there are plants that, admittedly, they're not super common, but there are plants that can grow, like out in the tropical rainforests where it's absurdly moist. There are plants that can grow just off the side of like trees, just completely divorced from soil, just because everything's just so nutritious everywhere down there. So I think I'll have to say, what was it? Sunlight and water?
Sunlight and water.
Whichever one that was.
That's A.
Yeah, A.
Okay. And number 3, true or false, photosynthesis takes place in a plant's roots.
False. There's no sun in the ground.
All right, we're going to get into the answers to these trivia questions and even more fun facts about seeds and plants right after this quick break. All right, everybody, we are back and we're going to answer the question, are seeds alive or dead? What do you think, Joe? Are seeds alive or dead? Loaded question.
Yeah, it is. I mean...
Are seeds like zombies? Undead? Think about it.
No.
What? You don't think they're like zombies at all?
No.
I'm feeling some defiance.
I can see the comparison, but it's a wrong comparison.
Seeds often come from dead or dying plants, but they can also grow into a new one. They aren't really dead, they're just waiting to come alive.
Well, there you go. They're not dead. If they're not dead, they can't come back as zombies.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a silly. I mean, I think they're zombies.
Well, I mean,
and you disagree.
Well,
so
consider
here we are again.
Consider, for instance,
fighting on air. I'm just kidding.
Consider, for instance, the seeds of fruit trees that don't.
Oh, we're going to talk about fruit.
Well, they don't immediately die when you pick the fruit, right? They just have seeds in the fruit, and you plant the seed, and it grows into another tree, right? No dying happening there.
The seed was never alive to begin with. These are some really big questions we're asking here. So, seeds. When we get seeds, they always come from a flowering plant that has completed its life cycle. We can also find seeds inside of fruits that we eat, like apples, cucumbers, peppers, and tomatoes. Yes, all of those foods are fruits. They are fruits because they come from the fertilized ovary of a flowering plant. You can look inside of something that you would like to eat and see if there are seeds. Then you can know for sure if that something you're eating is a fruit. If you happen to find a seed inside, the odds are you can plant it in soil, give it the right amount of water, and place it where it has enough sunlight. This is called creating ideal conditions. Creating ideal conditions means we make a space for the plant to grow and give it everything that it needs. If we keep it up long enough, our plants will likely complete their life cycle. So, the 3 ideal conditions. Do you have any thoughts? Water, sunlight, soil.
Well, strictly speaking, right? Soil, sunlight, nitrogen.
Okay. Yeah, there has to be nitrogen in the soil. Because why, Joe? What's nitrogen?
Important.
Important.
Something nitrogen cycle. I can't tell you right off the top of my head, but I do know it's nitrogen.
Okay, well, nitrogen is important to have in your soil.
It's in fertilizer.
It's like plant food. Yeah.
And the soil.
Yeah.
And
good soil will have nitrogen.
Yeah.
So once the seed has these ideal conditions, it will germinate. So this means that the first root of the plant will emerge from the outer shell of the seed. We call this the taproot. The taproot grows deeper than the other roots, and it helps this plant stay upright, standing up straight. Once the germinated seed has enough roots, it will grow into a seedling. The seedling will grow leaves that begin photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a plant's way of eating food. The more food it can eat, the bigger the plant can grow. Yum. Photosynthesis. Can you do photosynthesis, Joe?
I lack the chloroplast to do so.
The chloroplast is what makes it green, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
yeah. And
the chloroplast.
Chlorophyll.
The chloroplast contains chlorophyll, which is very important to photosynthesis and is also green.
Okay. When a seedling grows more leaves, it's on its way to becoming a mature plant. In this stage, the plant grows more and more leaves. Because all of these leaves conduct photosynthesis, the plant is able to use and store its energy. Once it has enough energy, it begins to make flowers.
Yep, flowers.
Yep, flowers.
Alas, I am a boy and I do not care about flowers.
Whatever. There's no gender stereotypes on Cozy Rainbow Podcast. Boys can like flowers, girls can like flowers, boys
unfortunately,
can not like flowers.
I'm not the boy that is predisposed to liking flowers, especially.
Yeah. Joe doesn't really like flowers. Why? Because you're scared of them. You're scared of bees. You're scared of the bees.
But Carla likes flowers and she's terrified of bees.
Okay, fine. We should have brought Carla on for this one.
Right.
Okay. Yes, we said once it has enough energy, it makes flowers. Oh, yeah, and the flowers are so special. The flowers are the plant's way of attracting pollinators, aka the bees. Bzz, bzz.
And other stuff. You know.
Yeah, sure.
Butterflies? Hummingbirds, yeah.
Other little bug friends. So these pollinators help the flowers exchange pollen with each other. The exchange of pollen allows fruit like those cucumbers, corn, tomatoes, apples, oranges, and more to grow. On some plants, like basil and other herbs, flowers turn immediately into seeds. So when the pods are dried out, the seeds are ready to harvest and plant again. The plant that we started with will die, but if we let it, it will make another generation of seeds to grow. So, Joe, after all this, what do you think? Are seeds dead? Are they alive? Are they something in between?
Well, things that are alive tend to grow into more complex things. But, and strictly speaking, right, a seed, you can just let it sit, like, just forever, and, like, it won't grow until it finds the good spot. But it can grow. So, while I can understand the perspective that it isn't alive, it is, because it can grow, yeah.
You think a seed is alive?
A seed is alive, yeah.
Okay, so you don't think it's something in between?
No.
Oh. Are zombies alive?
Well, I see biologists haven't had the privilege of being able to get real up close and examine the biological processes of a zombie yet. But there are like zombie fungus who like take over ants. They
What?
hijack ant nervous systems and they like go up to a good altitude. They drive the ants up to a good altitude so they can like actually grow into like a big, fungus and spread their spores and stuff. And those guys aren't alive, so I don't think zombies are alive. The ants aren't alive when they're being driven by the zombie fungus.
No way.
So I don't think so. Strictly speaking, the closest real life thing we have to a zombie is not alive. So I don't think zombies are alive.
That fungus. So fungus is not alive.
No, fungus is life. But the ant, which is the thing being turned into a zombie, is not alive when it's being driven by the fungus.
Oh, it's undead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why that word exists, so we don't have to call zombies alive. We can say that they're dead.
Okay.
Or undead, as it were. I don't know.
So, and seeds are alive. You heard it here first, folks, from Joe, the biologist himself. So let's go back over those trivia questions. Number 1, when a plant germinates, what is the first root to grow out of the seed called?
The taproot.
The taproot. Yeah, you got that one right the first time. Number 2, what ideal conditions does a seed need to grow?
All right. The ideal conditions, as you listed, were soil, sunlight, and water.
Yes.
But
Conditions can be even more idealistic.
yeah. But there's a type of plant called an epiphyte, which grows out of the wood of other plants. They don't need soil. They do need the nutrients in the soil. So, I mean, technically that's right, but it's technically vaguely right because you need, that nitrogen in the soil, but
they have secondhand soil.
Yeah, well, they're not, it's not.
Secondhand nutrients.
I should specify, epiphytes are not parasitic. They're not stealing, nitrogen from whatever they're growing off of, right? They only grow in like the Amazon rainforest where it's like, it's covered in plants. There's enough nutrients to go around like 3 times over.
Yum.
Or something.
We love us some nutrients.
And so they don't really need to be in the soil. They can just kind of be hanging out wherever they want and still have enough nutrients to grow. Still find their ideal conditions.
Yes. This number 2 also brought to mind hydroponics. There's no sunlight. There's artificial light. It's not artificial light.
You want me to go into well, okay. It's not UV light.
Okay.
Ultraviolet light emitted from the sun is what's important to photosynthesis. They take that and there's like a molecule and it gets broken into free radicals, and I'm putting you to sleep, so don't worry about it.
What's a free radical?
You see, electrons are normally paired up in 2, but when one of them gets knocked out by, say, ultraviolet light, it turns into a free radical with only 1 electron, which is very highly reactive, and it goes to find other free radicals to mix together, or alternately, the 1 electron knocks out another electron, and then you make a new free radical.
That's free radicals with Joe. So
this was a bad idea. I shouldn't have been on this episode.
Anyway, Joe, let's did I even
Question 3.
Question number 3. True or false? Photosynthesis takes place in a plant's roots.
False.
False. It happens in the leaves.
Where there are sunlight.
Yeah. So Joe, what kind of seeds would you grow and save year after year? If you could just choose one type of vegetable or fruit.
I don't know. Maybe a cactus.
What? Like a prickly pear?
Just any old cactus.
Just any old cactus?
Maybe a yucca.
Oh, what type of seeds? Oh, yeah, it didn't even say what type of plants. A yucca?
They just any old seeds. Just some seed that I don't really have to,
take care
look
of
after.
Oh my gosh, I know, right?
You just flick it into like the cracks of the sidewalk and just watch it grow,
Yeah, cool. Mint is one that's like that, but mint grows like a weed. And so if you don't plant it in a pot, it'll take over your life and your garden.
Sunflowers and dandelions are weeds.
What a fun fact. What a large weed a sunflower must be. And I think if I were to grow a seed year after year, I would want to grow basil because fresh basil is delicioso.
You know what? Now that I think about it, sunflower wouldn't be a bad thing to grow, would it?
Yeah, why? Why would you want to grow a sunflower? Oh, for the seeds?
Well,
Duh. That's the whole.
The seeds are tasty, but also it's a flower that people like to look at.
Oh, so thoughtful you are, Joe.
But it's quite an aesthetically pleasing sort of.
Yeah, it makes people
plant.
happy.
Yeah.
It makes people happy. Well, if you're a teacher listening to this and you would like to have some activities, printable worksheets, scaffolded notes for your students, check out our website, www.cozyrainbow.org. You can also find us on Teachers Pay Teachers. You can follow us on Instagram at CozyRainbowNV. If you'd like to contact us, please make sure you're 13 years of age or older, or you have an adult write-in for you. Our email address is cozyrainbownv@gmail.com. All right, everybody.
Thanks for listening.